I'm Will Hedrick.
And I'm Jordan Schaffer.
And this is Dog Ears and Timestamps, a Good Omens podcast.
Man, bringing it back. I love this show.
It's great. Yeah.
It's cool that we're like forcing ourselves to serialize it, but it's also, it's fun because like once a week I get to find time for myself to just like, I can watch a Good Omens episode. Like,
yeah.
It's an hour, so it's satisfying. I always want to watch another one, but I never do, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And this last week just kind of had me on edge almost the whole time. I don't know.
Right.
It was a good one.
Definitely everything's happening, and we're in the last half of the show, so it has to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's obviously where Adam fully comes into his power. He knows that he's got the power now, and I guess who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I wonder if he knows
really
that
know
it's some sort of demonic power, because he seemed to like sort of, when he saw the picture of Satan, or maybe it was a picture of the Antichrist, whatever it was a picture in that chick's house. Anathema.
Witch,
yeah, probably shouldn't call her that chick. In Anathema's house. And is it the Antichrist or is that actually Satan? I think it's
know.
Satan.
Yeah, I don't know. She just, it never... Like, we don't ever see, like, a caption for it or anything like that. But her whole purpose is to be hunting down or finding the Antichrist to stop it. So maybe it's... And then she also refers to it as the beast. So maybe it is the Antichrist. I guess it doesn't really matter, but, it's...
No, I was just curious, because when Adam looks at it, Adam
that sort of awakens something in him. He then becomes conscious of.
Yeah,
I think he was starting to catch on a little bit even before that. Because, like, they see the... people digging through their tunnels or whatever, and like he sees them poking out from the ground, and he's like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah.
And yeah, just like I guess several different things he finally notices are happening. It's like these are happening as I think about them.
Yeah, that was what it was kind of weird about him. He was like, as he was thinking about nuclear Armageddon, it seemed like it was sort of starting to happen, right? Like I don't know if it necessarily happened yet, but he was thinking.
Yeah,
like, I wish it would all just kind of end.
That's definitely his like
feels
sort of
like
next
it's coming. I
thing.
guess
Yeah, he's everything that he does. If it's not a specific thing like getting rid of the nuclear reactor, but even that was just a nuclear reactor in England somewhere.
Yeah,
and then raising Atlantis. Obviously, Atlantis can only exist in a certain spot, so that is somewhere.
Yeah.
Saving the whales by raising the Kraken to hunt specifically the whale ship, the Japanese whaling ships. But everything else, all the weird weather and all this stuff happening is only around his little town.
Yeah.
Which I forgot its name again. It doesn't matter, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's just some little town.
But it's not like... I guess none of it's really been big enough, aside from Atlantis, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that was cool. I actually... I heard about this, there's like this sort of Apple Watch kind of thing that has your satellite location. Mm-hmm. And there was this conspiracy that there's underground tunnels because they had tracking data of people in these, like, in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
I guess they
that's just bad GPS.
I was gonna say they could have just been on a plane or whatever, but like, I don't know, there was... the conspiracy that like it linked up with some of the spots that they thought they had these underwater like base tunnels, you know, and these underwater bases, and these people like didn't turn off their GPS in time or whatever, so it caught them in I guess what I would call like Project Atlantis, but I don't think that's actually what it was called. If you want to Google it. But it is a funny little conspiracy, which that made me think of when Atlantis came up, because I was like, because he was reading a bunch of almost like the Inquirer, magazines,
exactly.
and he's like, I'm going to make this. He didn't consciously make it real, but he
just
did.
Believed it.
And,
and so then it seemed to always happen, like when he was asleep or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's when the biggest thing seemed to happen, at least.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that there was something in his expression at the very end whenever he got rid of his friends' mouths.
Yeah,
and he could like see like a horrifying visual representation of what he was doing. Yeah, I think that might have woke him up a second. Like there was something in his expression. I was like, oh, okay, he gets that he's being a monster right now.
No, I saw that too. I thought there was a little bit of like, I don't want to call it like remorse, but sort of where he was thinking about it. He definitely...
Like he was kind of spinning off. He was definitely, freaking out. something about the realization that he had some sort of, whatever it was that the picture of Satan or whatever, revealed to him. He was definitely sort of spinning out of control, but then seeing himself do that to his friends, I think, hopefully brings him back a little bit. I don't know.
I think it will. I think it definitely will, because he doesn't have his 4 horsemen. He was definitely treating his friends like they were the 4 horsemen, I feel like.
Right.
Kind of the 4 horsemen Band-Aid. And when they weren't listening, he got mad and had to kind of subject them to his power, which I definitely don't think he wanted to do. I think he just kind of wanted to probably rule by influence, not necessarily rule by force, rule by them wanting to be next to him. But they started to... All his friends seemed to start wanting to not have anything to do with him. Yeah. Sorry, I said that kind of jumbled up, but
yeah, because they're definitely like they could feel something was different about him over the past couple of days or whatever, that he was.
It's just the
doing
last few
more
days,
and more
though.
and more.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then I also wonder what's going to happen. Over in Megiddo, where the horsemen are arriving. Are they just going to be like, well, fuck it, we're just going to do it anyways and just start on their own. Go back. Maybe, and try to find the Antichrist later, or because they were all pretty excited about being able to get started again.
I feel like they're going to have some sort of disagreement because they're not going to have the leader there, but yeah, that'll be the comical take, I feel like, on it. And Adam got a lot more evil than I thought he would. I didn't think he would actually start like kind of... I guess I didn't really know what to expect from him. I didn't even think he'd come into his power as much as he already has. Right. So that's been interesting to see. Like,
I didn't think it would be so like blatantly magic.
Oh yeah, like he's straight up flying, and he knows it now. He knows he's got some freaking power, and he's ready to sling it.
Right.
He wants to make change too, and he definitely feels like he's doing it for the greater good. I feel like too. No.
Oh. Yeah, I guess whatever his definition of the greater good is, because he wants everybody on the planet to be dead. And then he'll just make new people.
Yeah.
It's like, part of what he was saying. But he still has a child's logic, because he's only 11. So, and he's just been, raised by the people of this small English country town. Unlike, the one that they thought was the Antichrist, they were trying to, groom to some degree.
Yeah.
And then also being, the son of an American ambassador, he probably had, access to greater educational resources and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Adam is just like this average English country 11-year-old. And so everything that he does is through the mind of that kind of a person.
I liked the little bit of the ambassador's son that we got back, with this episode. It was, not necessarily him, but I liked seeing the whole crew again, I liked seeing all of them again. And it was funny, him just kind of telling him he smelled like poo. Because he looks like he smells like poop. But, man, there are 2 more episodes. I don't really know what to expect.
So Aziraphale goes through the portal to heaven. And not intentionally, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Right at the end, right?
Yeah. And so he...
I thought that was funny too when he was trying to talk directly to God, but he's like, "I speak for God," and he's like, "No, I need
secretary or whatever."
That was funny.
So he's back in heaven, presumably, like he ascended back to being an angel or whatever. So that and they're gonna, now that he's there, they're gonna try and get him to just be like, "All right, well, now time to
win the war,
return to active service," like Gabriel was telling him.
Exactly. Yeah, and it was cool too. One little quote. I don't know if it's a quote because I'm not going to remember it exactly, but it seemed like he said the goal is to win the war, not to stop it.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
Not what I wanted to hear, but it was kind of like epic in its
right.
delivery,
it's definitely like revelatory of the mindset of the angels, where it's not, and it was fairly evident whenever Gabriel came down to like the bookstore and everything, and any of the other interactions that they have around humanity. He thinks that they're just like stupid, like nothing animals, like they don't mean anything, like who cares really.
Yeah.
At least the character that's being portrayed for these higher up angels, they all just want the war to happen and they want to win that war.
It seems like he's kind of in trouble though, Aziraphale and Crowley. It seems like they're both sort of in trouble with their respective higher ups, The
only ones that seem to have known anything about Crowley on the demon side were the 2. And he killed one and trapped another one in an analog.
I thought that was a really good plan.
Yeah.
as he had the little water squirter, I was thinking like, I don't remember him putting any holy water in there. I remember him dumping it all in the bucket, but I guess he could have put it in the squirt bottle. But that seems really irresponsible because it'll get on his finger like it always gets on my finger.
I know. And, so squirt bottles are the least tight thing ever.
I was thinking like a squirt gun, like a super soaker maybe. Like, or even just like one of those squirt gun, like squirty squirt gun. I don't know what else to call them.
Tiny, a little water gun thing.
But that was funny how he just killed the first demon with the
bucket over the door,
over the door trick, like from a cartoon.
Right, that was pretty classic.
And then he trapped the other one in his answering machine, which was funny. So which was clever, dude. That was that's like how they got rid of Piccolo in Dragon Ball. That's like that's how they. I feel like that's just like one of the methods I always forget to get rid of somebody is just like, just trap them in another dimension. They did it in Superman, I guess, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Just trap them in another dimension, dude.
Right, just do that.
Why can't we do that more often?
Yeah.
We do that by killing people, I guess. Trap them in the death dimension.
Right.
But, I guess. So
I don't think he's got anybody else to answer to.
Yeah.
Except for, like, at some point, Satan's going to come out and be like, I knew what you were doing, I just didn't care.
I'm waiting for the Benedict Cumberbatch voice to pop in.
Right. Which, now obviously we've only got 2 episodes left, but I think I was saying last week that I felt like it could be either episode 5 or 6.
I sure hope it's this one, but it'll probably, obviously if it's not this one. I don't think it'll be both. I think it'll just be one. That's so dumb. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter either.
It very well could be, you're right.
We haven't met God yet either, have we? Specifically,
just the voiceover that we get. And the only time that it was like a live interaction that she was having with anybody was when she asked Aziraphale what happened to the sword back in Eden.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
That's the only time live interaction that we get with her and somebody.
You just lied, right? Like, oh yeah, I've still got it
somewhere. Which is ridiculous because God's, supposed to be omniscient, so she just knows everything.
Yeah, she would know that Adam would have it.
Right. But yeah.
She's got to check in.
I like that callback that we had to it whenever he was running with Gabriel. And then Gabriel just jumps back. And he's like, oh, by the way, our records show that you were issued a flaming sword.
Yeah, what's that?
Have that. We need that for the war.
Oh, yeah, definitely need that for the war. Why wouldn't you pick that back up after Adam's done with it? I mean, Adam lived for 1,000 years, so.
Right.
But after that, you'd think
Which you would think that Aziraphale would have followed Adam, because Adam and Eve are the only 2 people that exist.
Yeah, what else are you going to do?
So, yeah. Was he just walking around the desert doing nothing?
A lot of Crowley time, too, I imagine.
Maybe so. Maybe they're just hanging out in Eden, what was left of it.
Oh.
Like, now they're gone. We can just hang out here openly. We can do whatever we want.
That's where I would definitely hang while they were figuring civilization out.
Right.
Because it would suck for a long time.
Right.
Until 1950.
That's a very long time.
Right? I mean, AC.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was invented, but I feel
earlier
like it was
than
probably
that,
good by the 50s.
Yeah, probably a little bit more universal, more reliable.
I'm such a little weenie. I got such a little bitch. A weenie. Who says that? My
a little
granny.
bitch.
little bitches say that. I'm excited, dude. I can't wait to watch the next episode. When did you watch it this week? Even
last night.
Last night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I think I watched it on Thursday, just some weird day. It was a while ago. It definitely wasn't last night, but
yeah, I wasn't really doing anything. I don't know. I was doing a lot of stuff. So I know I just said I wasn't really doing anything, but I was working, and then I have this surprise 6-day vacation that I didn't really ask for.
Surprise.
And so I was just watching anime and playing games and stuff for the first couple days. Awesome. And then I went down to Corpus for the 10-year.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that. Man, I can't wait. Are you going to rewatch this show, you think, when you get to the end?
I could at some point.
Oh, just again, not at the end, though?
I can't imagine just starting it over right away.
Binging it, yeah.
I would doubt that. But I would probably definitely watch it again at some point down the road.
Do you have a show that you want to... Do you have a show that you want to start prepping to watch next, or do you want to even
I
think
don't know
about
how much
that
prep
yet?
we have to do. But
well, no, I know. I'm just
yeah.
like, if you want to say it so that the show, so that we can make sure.
I think the only one that we've been talking about was doing Chernobyl.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to.
Yeah, definitely gonna watch it regardless.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it's either I watch it now or I wait until we start watching it.
But I think that would be a good show to watch.
I do too.
There's got to be some other ones that might be worth putting into the ring. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll look around and see, what there is that's happening on Amazon and on HBO.
Yeah, me too.
The only place that anything good is happening.
Yeah, I don't think Showtime has much. They put out a guy's comedy special that I would recommend, but
I forget that we have Showtime right now.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, no, this is a cool show. I like that. I feel like I know it's going to end too, and then I can read the book. I bought the book out.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
That's good. Yeah, I would like to read the book. I might read the book afterwards. I don't know. I'm already reading 2 books. I can't read a third book.
What are you reading right now? The Black Seas Under Red Skies?
Yeah, I'm still working on that. Maybe a third of the way through. So
yeah, I just bought all that is out for that series right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. What else happened this episode?
I can't really remember much. I'm trying to think of.
I thought Aziraphale and Crawley were going to show up in the little town, and like everybody that we've been following would have, coalesced together in the little town for the start of Armageddon, and then we'd have all the powers that be coalesced in Megiddo, and I thought that was going to be, the setup for what's going to happen next. Armageddon is, officially started, after tea time. And our 2 groups of people are in these 2 very different places. So what happens now? And Crowley's potentially fucking off to another planet, and then
that's what
Aziraphale got pulled back up into heaven. So not at all what I was thinking was going to happen.
No, me neither. And I think we both kind of thought that that guy and the girl were going to get together, the witch hunter and then the witch.
It seems a little obvious, right?
Yeah, it seemed like it, and she is so pretty.
Yeah. So just since he wasn't really into the witch hunting thing, he was just like he said, I just needed to get out of the house.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But so they got together, dude, no wonder she was so eager to go on her mission. She knew she was gonna meet her, the man that completed her.
Right.
That made her swoon. Yeah, man, I'm excited to see what Dog will do too. He seems almost nervous about the impending.
Because he's tiny dog, and like God says last episode, form shapes nature. Mm-hmm. So like him becoming a tiny little dog now makes him a tiny little dog.
Well, and he was a little bit less evil too, as of
from like the horseshoe or whatever. Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to see how the rest of it turns out. I still think that Armageddon is just not going to happen.
I think so
that's
too.
the joke.
That seems right.
Or that it's kind of just like it's nothing big. And I think that that's partly because Adam is not necessarily evil.
Yeah.
In his raising. And they seem to spend a decent amount of time putting that message across, in my opinion, last episode.
Right. God, I keep forgetting that girl's name. Anathema. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She even said he's the sweetest boy in town. It couldn't be Adam. Whenever they had the light bulb moment of it's Adam at Hogsback Lane.
Yeah.
What a British street sounding name too.
Right.
I need a map of where this town is. I don't know why. I would just like a map.
They zoomed out from it at one point this episode.
Oh man.
So very quickly you could get some,
perspective,
perspective as to where it is. So I don't know. It's got to be near-ish to London. I assume that's where the witch hunter is. Must be, because he's literally, whenever he first runs into the kid, he's outside Buckingham Palace. So
that was funny when he thought he banished Aziraphale too.
He's like, oh shit, I'm legit. And he accidentally sets the fucking bookstore on fire.
Oh yeah, dude, that actually, I remember I audibly went oh no.
Right.
Yeah, I was really sad about that.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Aziraphale's not gonna be happy about it.
That's the dopest bookstore too, man. It's it's what you imagine the bookstore in Harry Potter to be like. It's awesome, dude. It's so cool.
Yeah. What was the... I don't know.
Flourish and Blots.
Yeah, there you go. Flourish and Blots. Good job.
Right?
Yeah. I was thinking something totally different. But, yeah, it's definitely... That's another part, and, we've talked about this to some degree, even, or into, like, the set design... Not the set design itself, but the attention to detail that's being put into it. Like you mentioned, his little rotary thing when he was a kid looked kind of...
Like a hanging person or a hanging skeleton.
But the overall production value and set design of this show is pretty incredible. Like every location looks amazing. On the Amazon Prime app on Xbox, it delivers it in 4K and HDR, which is great for my TV because my TV does that. So it just looks absolutely incredible. It's the best looking show I've seen in a very long time. Oh yeah,
I was just gonna say too.
It's stark contrast to watching HBO's Game of Thrones this last season, where the compression was ungodly.
Oh yeah,
and it's just giant blocks of shades of black.
Well, I mean, one thing that seems interesting is it almost seems like the actors are getting like more weathered and worn like as the season goes on. Obviously they get more into their role and they get better as the characters, but it seems almost like the makeup and stuff is changing as they develop too, because like it seems like Aziraphale is less pure and white. It almost seems like he's more human.
He's a little bit older and grimy, he's not glowing so much. And
and I didn't even notice that until we just started talking about it. But that's a really cool thing. Like you're right, the show has been doing such a good job with just the filming and the cinematography. It's it'll be interesting to compare it to the book too. I think it'll be not a quick read, but I don't think it'll be anything more than 300 pages, 350 probably.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it didn't seem that long. And Neil Gaiman's not that hard of a read, I don't think. Terry Pratchett was just so weird. You had to get used to his world, but I know everybody in this world, so it should be a quickie. I'm just waiting for like, I don't know what kind of like humor would you call this show? Because I don't want to just be like it's your typical British comedy, like what does that even mean?
Very British.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe it to somebody if someone was asking, well, what's it like? What are the jokes like? It's just like very British,
Yeah, I mean, that's such a weird thing too. Like if you told that to little kid Jordan, like I would have no idea what that means. Like it's a very British show. It's like I don't get it.
Right? Or just like, so Monty Python.
Yeah.
Although Monty Python's a little more gaggy in a lot of places than this is. A lot of the spoken jokes are along the same lines, but a lot of the stuff that was in Monty Python was just very much just like very kind of like gaggy, almost slapstick stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff in this is kind of almost like stiff humor. It's kind of just like humorous because of like who's doing whatever happens to be happening. I know that's such a vague description, but I was saying that I imagined.
It's very modern day BBC.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it now in like 5 or 6 years, so there's been like 2 or 3 seasons that I've missed, but I have watched the rest of Doctor Who up until the point that Matt Smith left.
Was he good?
He was really good.
Nice.
I just didn't hop back on after it with when John Hurt. It was what's his name? It doesn't matter.
John Hamm.
And no, John Hamm. But a lot of the dialogue and jokes are very similar to what was in Doctor Who. And of course David Tennant was also the Doctor for a long stint of time. Yeah, I mean that's what I first saw him in, and that's what has his popularity now.
David Tennant is your
David Tennant is Crowley.
Oh, Crowley, I knew that.
Michael Sheen is Aziraphale. But David Tennant was the second Doctor in the modern era.
I could see him being a good Doctor.
He was great.
I said that kind of weird.
He was the best, in my opinion.
Ever?
Matt Smith was immediately after, but David Tennant was the best. But so, yeah, it's a lot of that is very similar, and that's why I would say it's very modern day BBC. It's very
They should have done a
British
callback to
humor.
that, like when they did a flashback. They should have had him like traveling through time.
That would be hilarious. That would be pretty great. But
alas, just kidding. Dude, I want to watch this show. We should watch the last episode together. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we could do that. We figure that out.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I don't know. I think I'm good on this episode. I think I talked about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not really anything else.
I've recommended it to so many people, and literally only one of them is taking my word on it, and it's still just Ace. But Cole said he was going to listen, so hopefully watch. He was going to watch the show. I doubt he's listening. But if he does listen, thank you for listening. And, yeah, I mean, I would recommend. I keep recommending this to people. I told my mom to watch it, so hopefully she checks it out. And, yeah.
It's great.
I keep talking about this show.
It's super great. Anybody that's got an Amazon Prime subscription should be watching this. Because it's definitely like almost worth the subscription alone, in my opinion.
Definitely for at least a month.
If you're doing the month, if you just get it for a month, then
yeah, hell yeah, definitely worth that.
And then obviously the myriad benefits besides, but on its own, the show is certainly worth paying for a month's worth of Prime, and then if you have to, just binge it. But 100%, the show rules.
But yeah, it's great.
I'm glad we just picked on it.
Yeah, no, good call, Will.
Do it.
But, I mean, you guys know how to find us at ears_stamps on Instagram and Twitter, dogearsandtimestamps@gmail.com. And, dog ears and timestamps on all your podcast platforms, or Google Play, SoundCloud.
Yeah, all the places that it shows up.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. But I'm Will Hedrick.
I'm Jordan Trafford.
This is Dog Ears and Timestamps.